friends, colleagues, and esteemed members of the community, I would like to welcome you to the grand opening of Mama V's Tattoo Kitchen, where we're going to cook up amazing art and hopefully it's anywhere near as amazing as Mike's lasagna here. Thank you, Mike, for bringing food for us today. It's delicious, am I right? Like, I'm vegan and I still enjoy it. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I am deeply humbled for the community support that we've had here, setting up this very special tattoo shop here, and I just am deeply humbled and really appreciate everything you guys have done for us. On top of that, I was selected as the keynote speaker here for our little night before the opening kind of party here, and I just kind of wanted to talk about the journey here, and I wanted to thank the people who got us here, and I will talk mostly from my perspective. We have other members here, that, of course, but they wanted me to talk about my journey. And so without further ado, let's get started. So first off, I want to welcome Michael Slaymaker, the president of the Orlando Youth Alliance. I joined his organization when I was 14 years old and really kind of helped set me on the path that I am on to this day, and what helped me build what this place is. So I really appreciate you coming here, Michael. Thank you very much. On top of that, my esteemed colleagues, we have Jenny, our piercer here, and Joaquim, he is our receptionist, and of course we have Mike and Newman, who are my fellow tattoo artists here at Mama V's Tattoo Kitchen. So I just get excited every time I hear that. Plus, look at this place, it's gorgeous, got a nice retro feel. And of course the bonus room is amazing. I want to thank Scott Bromley for donating pinball machines for the youth to use here. But anyway, to get to my story, I don't want to keep us too long from this delicious lasagna. I started out at 18 years old. I had been out for several years as a transgender woman, and kind of had a mental break because I wasn't allowed to express myself. And even though I had this youth support group that I'd been going since I was 14 years old, I still wasn't able to express myself at home, and it was just a really toxic environment to be in, and I kind of wanted to take that and meld it into something else. But at that time, I couldn't handle it. So I spent 4 months in and out of a rehabilitation center, and I learned a lot about myself at that time and what my values are. I value helping others, and especially within the community, and I value my art. Also, one thing I, of course, want to bring up is the fact that alcoholism, drug abuse, and sexual assault are very prevalent in our community, the LGBT community in the United States. And what's the number one place that LGBT kids go to when they turn 18? They go to the club, which is, where a lot of those things occur. And so I wanted to create a place where LGBTQ plus youth can go to and express themselves and have it kind of be like this coming of age, like I'm 18, I'm going to go here, to just show how cool and, that I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it, that old adage. And that's why I wanted to set up the tattoo shop. They can come and get a tattoo instead of going out to get drunk. After that, I worked in a children's theater that really solidified my my love for helping out children in the community, and I think it really helped guide me forward on this path. I went to college. I was a student at Valencia College over in Orlando, Florida. I studied under business administration. That was kind of my goal. I knew I was pretty talented at art, and I was going to take some art classes, but I definitely wanted to make sure I was good with money so I can set up a shop, run a business, and especially a nonprofit. And I went ahead and took what I learned there. I started to learn how to love math. Strangely enough, if I would have told little kid me that I would eventually like math, I would have called myself a traitor. But I was taught algebra by Professor Nancy Steiner, who really set me on that desire to learn more about numbers and how they work, and I think it really helped build me into the type of business person that I am today. And then on top of that, I took the new student experience course a couple of years into my college experience. I wasn't necessarily a new student, but I did learn quite a bit there under Professor Caitlin Brooker. I studied, I took a lot of personality tests, honestly, and that kind of put me off at first. but I definitely learned a lot about myself from that. I learned that, for example, I learned some different strengths I had that I didn't really know how to label. For example, there's a strengths quest thing that I actually employ in my coworkers here, and I know Jenny can definitely attest to this, that I really thought was useful. I learned that my skills were that I was restorative. I was very good at solving problems and helping people. That's what, and I felt that matched with my values a lot, and I definitely wanted to use that strength to build what I was doing. I also was intuitive, and I used input. So I, took as much information as I could and learned how to use that in a restorative way, going back to that, and use those skills from that class, like learning about that in my everyday life. And I really appreciated that. I also took a couple other tests. There was this program called My Plan that really helped out too. It said that it talked about my primary interest area, which I thought was extremely important. It showed that my interests were being investigative and being realistic. As everyone knows, I am aggressively realistic. If I don't have a full-out plan, I cannot do anything. I won't do it. So, focusing on making sure we have a realistic plan and a realistic goal to accomplish things was very important to me. And then also being investigative. I always do my research before I get into anything. I remember when Mike and I were talking about what kind of style we going to go for, I spent probably about 2-3 months figuring out what exact era of retro we were going to go for, and I really dig the late 50s, early 60s style we went, kind of like that diner feel. After that, I transferred to UCF through the Direct Connect program there and finished off my bachelor's in business administration. I spent over $9,000 taking these classes just to make sure I was well set up and had my degree to make sure I could run a good business. And that was, thank goodness for the federal government, because they provided a lot of money. The Pell Grant, pretty much the number one reason why I went to college at all. If I didn't have Pell Grant, I would not have been able to make it at all. And I really appreciate that. From then on, I went and apprenticed under Bob here. Bob, who also designed the aprons, our little kitchen aprons here. Thank you, Bob, everybody. Yeah. He set me up in his shop and taught me how to tattoo. I knew how to draw, but I didn't know how to, stab people a million times to put that art onto someone's skin. So I thought that was really valuable. And he, after I would finish my apprenticeship, I was contracted to stay in his shop for a while, and I really appreciate that time. Helped me build up the money and the skills I needed to open up my own shop. And I met Jenny Newman and Joaquim and Mike here, and we helped build this. So we're all here to help the kids, and we're all here to produce great art. And it's been a long journey for me, but I know we got many, many more miles. I am only 32 years old, and I cannot even imagine what we can accomplish in this community in the years to come. Not just with art, but also for helping out the kids, and all the money from the tattoos. And remember, I got that swear jar over there. Any swear words, that goes straight into helping out the kids. Okay, so swear a lot when I'm tattooing you. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys very much for coming by. Let's enjoy that lasagna. I know Barb made some delicious garlic breadsticks, so let's get into it, all right? Thank you guys very much for coming by. Thank you.